welcome students. This short video is really designed to give you a chance to look at the nuts and bolts of this course and what you're going to be expected to do to be successful. When you open up the Blackboard shell, you'll see something that looks like this. You may not see all of those units at one time because that's my view, but you will see homepage, announcements, syllabus, Blackboard helps, and you'll see a unit that will be open, and then you will see down at the bottom Doc Shell's Emporium of Philosophical Wonders and a short video on how to cite sources effectively. So this is what you're going to. So when you click on the syllabus announcement, you're going to get two hyperlinks. One of them is to the syllabus proper, which has due dates and deadlines and all the kind of nuts and bolts things you need to know. The assignments and deadlines gives you a very detailed breakdown of each unit, when it opens, when it closes, and what's due. And then we're going to look at that in more detail. So when you open up the assignments and look at the syllabus, you'll see that our course is laid out in units. There are 5 units, and they all open on a Monday, 1 minute after midnight, and they close on a Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. And all the work that is due in any particular unit has to be completed inside that window. I do not accept late work, so you can work ahead, and everything that's assigned, all the readings and everything is in the syllabus and in the assignments. Now, you can't submit them until the unit opens. But if you look at your schedule and you see that you've got a busy week coming up, or you have to do something for work, you are certainly able to work ahead so that everything is ready, and then you just post it within the unit that it's due. So you want to sort of watch that. That's really important, that you kind of keep up with where the units are opening and closing. And then there's some material that has particular due dates inside of a unit, but most of the material is just due by the end of that unit. But you'll want to be careful that you don't push too much to the end and just run out of time. And among each unit, there are similar components. There will be essays and discussions, film studies, quizzes, and then a position paper that is due throughout the semester. So I'm going to walk you through each one of those components, but to see that this is sort of, each unit will have these basic components in it. And again, you can read those in the syllabus, sort of a detail about what each one entails. I'm going to talk through those here in just a moment. So one of the most important parts of this course is the essays and the discussions. Philosophy is a discipline that involves a lot of interaction, and in an online format that takes the form of essays and then your discussion with other students about their essays and what you learn from the reading and the films that we study. And so you're going to want to watch, and we're going to talk particularly about the deadlines on those, but you're going to want to make sure that you post your essay on time. You have to post your essay first, and then you follow that up with a thoughtful discussion with fellow students. Okay, so we need to talk a little bit about the whole idea of post and discussion. In an online course, the essays that you post and then your discussions following those essays really take the place of the college level conversations that we would have if we were in the same room together. These are not social media shout outs. In fact, if you begin your post like, hey, I really like that probably is a good clue you're on the wrong track. You're not really just sort of saying hey to the individual. You're reading their essays. You're then responding to what they said in light of what you thought about the reading, the films, the various things that we're talking about. And so this is designed to be an in-depth conversation. You should be quoting our course materials and quoting and referencing their essays in a conversation that is deep and meaningful. And you should be bringing something to the party, not simply saying hey or telling people how much you liked what they said. Okay, and I've already alluded to the fact that we're going to involve several films. These are movies that I've selected because of the ethical concerns that are played out in the films. And you will need to watch those films, and then you're going to interact with those films and our other course materials. You need to secure the films yourself. Now, I have included in the syllabus a hyperlink where you can rent them, usually connecting through YouTube. Um, Now, they may be on Netflix, they might be on Hulu. You might happen to have one in your collection of movies. You might be able to borrow them from the public library. But you don't want to wait until the night before the assignment is due to realize that you can't access the movie. You can't find it, or you don't want to rent it, but you've waited too long to limit your options. So you want to look over the list ahead of time, see what's available, and how you're going to go about getting your hands on those films, because that's really, really important. These are not film reviews. You don't need to tell me if you like the film particularly. I've already watched them, so you don't have to spend a lot of time telling me the plot and the basic layout of the movie, because I know that's why I picked them. You're going to want to really hone in on the ethical components, and you're going to be really, I'm looking for that you interact with our course readings and our other course materials and the film. In each assignment, there'll be some guidelines of what you're supposed to be looking for. We're going to work our way through what I call the 5 ethical lenses. And then as a medical ethics course, there's also concerns that are particular to the medical field. And all of those need to be interwoven with your reaction to the film. So you need to sort of, there's a lot of balls in the air. And as you're watching the film, you're going to say, I see this ethical principle at work. I see this ethical frame being used. And then you're going to weave those together into an essay that is thoughtful and well researched and documented. You need to quote our course material, our textbook, our other resources, and cite them inside your essay. And that's really, really important that you do that, because that's where I can tell that you're interacting, you're learning the material, and then you can see it in the films as we work our way through them. Now, the big overarching project in this course is what I call the position paper. You're going to take a topic within medical ethics, and it can be relating to patient care, it can be related to access to health care, it can be involved in, I had a great student write a great paper about why Narcan is free and yet EpiPens are very, very expensive. So you can take any sort of issue that pops up within medical ethics and you're going to write a position paper. What that means is you're going to start out with the topic, you're going to learn about that topic, and at the end you're going to say what your position is after having done the research. So this paper is going to come in 4 different installments, and you'll have to look at the syllabus on it, and each in different units it pops up. So the first thing you're going to do is give me a proposal. It's a short 1 paragraph telling me what you want to write about. Then you're going to write a 1-page sort of history of the topic. What are the main events? Where did it come from? How long has it been an issue? Just a 1-page sort of overview of the history of your topic. Then the big part, the big meat of it is what I call the ethical landscape. And you're going to look at your topic through the eyes of 3 to 5 different ethical writers, philosophers, ethicists, to get what their views are on that ethical topic. They can be ancient, they can be modern, they could be researchers that are working right now in the field. Again, they can be reaching back to people from antiquity. But you're going to need several different philosophers weighing in on your topic. And then the last thing you're going to do is tell me, sort of after all of your research, what your opinion is, your position, and what other questions do you still have. And so each time you submit one piece of the paper, then the next one comes up, you're going to submit that one plus the next piece, like a snowball rolling down a hill. And so by the time you're done, there'll be 4 sections of your paper. Each has been turned in and graded, and then you'll have 1 paper at the end. So when you open up a unit, you'll see like this, and you'll see the assignments, the readings, videos to watch, films that are to be reviewed, and you'll notice that there are dates when you have to post your essay, and then there's dates in which you can submit your reply. It's really important that you make a note of these, because you need to make that initial essay post on the Friday night, or whatever the due date is. And then you have usually 2 days to make your reply. If you do not make the initial post on time, then that assignment receives a 0. You can't submit it late, and you can't reply to other students for credit because you didn't make your initial post on time. The assignment has to still stay open because other people are replying and interacting. But if you didn't participate in the initial essay post, then you cannot add on to that assignment after the first, when it's due. So again, I don't accept late work. You're going to have to really mark these deadlines because they're really important. All right, so I want to say a little word about how we're going to react and reference these great thinkers that we're going to be working with. Throughout the course, you're going to be writing essays about films, essays about what you're learning and reading and watching. And to do that, you're going to come up with an opinion that you have. And then you're going to need to back that up with scholarly research from the readings and the materials that you're interacting with. And you're going to have to cite them. So right here we have the pantheon of the great ethicists that we're going to be talking about. We have Hobbes and Immanuel Kant and Aristotle and Simone de Beauvoir and John Stuart Mills. These and countless others you're going to be encountering throughout this course. These are going to be like your guides. And when you use them to help you along your way, you've got to cite them. I have a little video that's also on the Blackboard shell that's called Citing Your Sources. And you're going to want to give that some attention. I'm not an English teacher. I'm not looking for where did you put the semicolon. But I am dogged about the fact that if you use somebody else's thoughts to back up your opinions, which you should, you've got to cite them. If they're not just these primary sources, but if you use another article, if you go somewhere to help get some insight, and I expect you to do that, especially on your position paper, you're going to have to dig into primary sources and original thinkers, and you've got to cite them. It's too easy to just sort of cut and paste, and you can't just drop their reference in your bibliography at the end. If you didn't cite them, quote them with quotation marks in your text, you can't just throw their source at the end of your paper. If you cite it, then you have to put it in the bibliography. If it's in the bibliography, it has to be cited somewhere in your paper. So this is really important, and it's good that you're using other people's material. You just got to make sure you give them credit. Well, was there ever a time to be taking a class on medical ethics in the middle of a pandemic? And we've seen how the inequities and ethical issues are coming out in terms of why is it that certain groups are dying at higher rates. What does the connection between privilege and surviving and thriving? And so we've got a lot to cover. I'm glad you're joining me. I hope this was helpful. I look forward to our time together. This is Dr. Shell, sauntering on.